The upcoming elections are not only a battleground for mainstream parties, but also for the far right of the political spectrum. Extreme nationalist parties at EU level. Is that not a contradiction in terms? The far right is known for its radical populist views, xenophobic attitudes and nationalist stances. Right-wing parties from different EU member states aim to establish themselves at a European level. Since 2004, they collaborate in a political group called Union of European Nations, but they clearly don't agree with the current model of European integration.
The EU leaders today are choosing is the Soviet model. It's a model of taking powers, democracy, know-how from member states and collecting it here in Brussels.
You know, it's kind of this emotional stance of, you know, the state is losing its sovereignty, the EU is taking over, we have no more rights.
They claim that cultural differences and distinct national interests are obstacles that cannot be overcome.
I see it every time we have a group meeting. We have Italians in the group and we have Dane in the group. And the Dane is very straight thinking and acting. And the Italians, oh, they admire him, they think it's fantastic, but they don't understand a word of what he's saying, and they would never dream of doing what he's doing, because they don't understand it in their heads.
Their Eurosceptic attitude and strong nationalist views seem to contradict the values and realities of the European Union. So how come that right-wing parties participate in the European Parliament?
Of course you will have to be inside the system to be able to work outside of the system.
Further contested positions of right-wing groups are Islamophobia and anti-immigration.
Most of the Muslims coming to my country do not really participate to the daily life. The normal taxpayer doesn't really understand why his tax is going for people who is raping his daughter and stealing his car.
The problem here is really the fundamentalists in some ways when they come up with these extreme examples, again like the clitorectomies for females being paid for. I mean, this really strikes the news, and then that's all that people remember. But what they don't remember is that 80% or 90% of Muslims do learn the language, do get jobs.
Obviously, right-wing parties' views contradict the idea of a European liberal and multicultural society. However, a liberal democracy must accept the free expression of all kinds of views.
Always and everywhere in the whole of Europe, at this moment, we are the opposition, we are the minority. But there's no democracy possible without opposition.
We have to have competing parties and competing ideas in order to form a more perfect union, if you will. So as much as I dislike those ideas, let me quote the first Supreme Court Justice of America said, and this is what I live by: "I might not like what you say, but I will defend to my death your right to say it."
So, what will be the future of right-wing parties at the European level? In the upcoming elections, it will be up to the voter to decide. They are the ones who will deliver the final verdict.